You've seen Susan Dey smile on your TV screens as Laurie Partridge in the Partridge Family. But behind that perfect smile was a silent struggle no one could see. By 19, she weighed only 92 pounds, surviving on carrots and water, her skin turning orange from starvation. And the heartbreak didn't stop there. A private betrayal from David Cassidy in 1994 shattered her trust forever, forcing her to walk away from Hollywood entirely. At 72, she lives alone on a sprawling farm, far from the lights and cameras, carrying a story of triumph, pain, and survival that will leave you in tears. Susan Dey was born on December 10, 1952, in Pekin, Illinois, a small town of 30,000 people surrounded by cornfields and old railroad tracks. Her father, Robert Dey, ran the local newspaper, filling their home with stories of deadlines and the wider world. Her mother, Ruth Dey, was a registered nurse who brought compassion and quiet strength into their modest home. Despite financial limitations, the family nurtured curiosity, love, and encouragement. At just 5, Susan stepped on a tiny church stage to recite a poem about family. Her father whispered that she would be on a real stage someday, planting a seed that would grow over the coming years. Tragedy struck when Ruth Dey died suddenly from pneumonia in 1961. At 8, Susan was forced to mature quickly, helping care for her younger siblings. Her grief stayed with her, shaping a quiet, introspective strength. A year later, her father remarried Gail, a woman who recognized Susan's poise and encouraged her modeling potential. By age 15, Susan and her sister Leslie were signed to the Eileen Ford agency. This one envelope changed everything. The family moved from Illinois to Thornwood, New York, trading cornfields for suburban streets, buses, and chain stores. At school, Susan faced teasing for her Midwestern accent, but she worked diligently to blend in, joining drama club and practicing speech exercises, laying the foundation for her acting career. By 15, Susan Dey appeared in 17 magazine spreads and booked a cover girl ad. She walked for designers like Pauline Trier during New York Fashion Week, learning early the brutal standards of beauty and discipline required. Her first major break came with a small educational booklet, Getting to Know Yourself, teaching young girls about puberty, an unusual and taboo project. Though minor, it exposed Susan's face to thousands of girls nationwide. Modeling alongside her sister Leslie brought competition and tension. Susan was measured, photographed, and compared weekly. Maintaining a 24-inch waist, she began skipping meals to satisfy industry standards. By 1970, Susan had signed a 7-year contract, earning $1,000 per episode. She left New York, barely finished high school, and stepped onto Hollywood sets. The show pulled in 16 million viewers weekly, turning a small-town girl into America's sweetheart. Yet, behind the camera, Susan struggled to maintain the image Hollywood demanded. Susan Dey's weight plummeted to 92 pounds as she survived almost entirely on carrots and water. The drastic diet turned her skin an alarming shade of orange, a visual symptom of her silent struggle. Wardrobe teams struggled to hide her frailty on set, padding costumes and adjusting camera angles to conceal what was increasingly apparent. Susan was barely holding herself together. Off-screen, the pressure was relentless. Public humiliation came not only from industry critics, but also from co-stars like Danny Bonaduce, who mocked her skeletal frame at parties. These moments, though casual to outsiders, cut deep. While she never shed tears publicly, the trauma simmered beneath her composed exterior, shaping a young woman forced to navigate fame while battling personal despair. Amid the chaos, Shirley Jones, her mentor and on-screen mother in the Partridge Family, stepped in as a quiet lifeline. She arranged private therapy sessions and nutritionist appointments, cleverly disguising them as acting prep so that the studio remained unaware. These small, secretive interventions became a lifeline, offering Susan the support she desperately needed to survive the demands of early stardom. By 1973, her performances on The Partridge Family revealed a girl under extreme pressure practicing vocals for hours, perfecting instrumentals, and enduring long, exhausting shoots. Every rehearsal, every camera angle, every fan letter added another layer of tension between her professional triumph and personal suffering. Yet she persisted. Susan Dey's first true heartbreak came on location in Hawaii, when she confessed her feelings to David Cassidy. The rejection stung, but worse was yet to come. A private encounter later became a public scandal when David revealed it in his 1994 memoir. The betrayal crushed her trust in Hollywood, severing her ties to gossip columns, interviews, and reunion appearances for decades. Determined to redefine herself, Susan Dey moved beyond the Partridge Family and showcased her versatility. In Skyjack 1972, filmed on a Boeing 707 during real turbulence, she experienced genuine fear and panic, an experience that left her with a lifelong phobia of flying. Yet it also revealed her remarkable ability to perform under extreme pressure. Her work in Mary Jane Harper Cried Last Night 1977 was even more intense. Portraying Rowena Harper, a mother abusing her child, Susan drew on therapy sessions and personal experiences to deliver a haunting, visceral performance that stunned critics. It was the moment the world realized she was far more than a teen TV star. She was an actress capable of extraordinary depth, emotion, and authenticity. In 1978, Susan Dey took a bold step that would redefine her career with the film First Love. Her nude scene with William Catt was not merely for shock or sensationalism. It was a strategic choice. By shedding the innocent, teen idol image that had defined her for years, Susan sent a clear message to Hollywood. She was in control of her own narrative. She refused to be typecast as the sweet girl next door and instead embraced roles that challenged her creatively and emotionally. Her career continued to push boundaries, both physically and technologically. On the set of Hawaii Five-0, she performed intense stunts, sprinting over coral and diving for cover, often risking injury to bring authenticity to her characters. In 1981, she starred in Looker, a sci-fi thriller that utilized early photorealistic CGI to digitally manipulate her image. The technical demands were extreme. The flashing lights caused migraines, but Susan Dey embraced the challenge. Beyond the physical strain, she leveraged her visibility to advocate for women in Hollywood, criticizing unrealistic beauty standards, industry exploitation, and the pressure placed on actresses to maintain perfection at all costs. Her voice became one of the earliest and most respected critiques of the industry's obsession with appearance over talent. By the time she starred as Grace Van Owen in L.A. Law 1986, Susan had fully transformed. Her portrayal of the sharp, resilient lawyer captivated audiences and critics alike. Her precise cross-examinations, commanding presence, and emotional depth made her a standout performer, earning multiple Emmy nominations and a Golden Globe. She was no longer a former teen star. She was a serious actress whose work resonated on multiple levels. Yet behind the accolades, Susan Dey faced personal struggles. The pressures of Hollywood, combined with past heartbreaks, led to a battle with alcohol during the 1980s. Through dedication and support from Alcoholics Anonymous, she achieved sobriety in 1992. However, her private recovery was publicly compromised when a leak revealed her struggles, compounded by David Cassidy's 1994 memoir that detailed their past. That double betrayal cemented her decision to step away from Hollywood entirely. In 1988, Susan married Bernard Safransky, creating a sanctuary on a 25-acre farm in Andes, New York. She focused on raising her daughter, Sarah, mentoring young actors via private correspondence, and advocating for survivors of assault through the UCLA Rape Treatment Center. She never sought a Hollywood comeback. Her net worth, estimated at $10 million, was secondary to the peace, privacy, and autonomy she had fought so hard to claim. At 72, Susan Dey stands as a figure of resilience and quiet heroism. From a 92-pound teenager battling fame and scrutiny to a Golden Globe-winning actress, challenging Hollywood norms, her story is one of courage, perseverance, and the power to define one's own life, far beyond the bright lights of the screen. Susan Dey taught the world that vulnerability does not diminish strength. Through heartbreak, public scrutiny, and personal struggles, she demonstrated that betrayal can forge resilience, and that choosing personal peace over public acclaim is, in itself, a triumph. Surrounded by the serenity of her 25-acre farm in Andes, New York, and the love of her family, Susan dedicates her life to mentoring aspiring actors, advocating for survivors of assault, and quietly inspiring those who face their own battles. Her journey reminds us that behind every smile on screen lies a human being navigating challenges, doubts, and grief. For fans who grew up watching Lori Partridge, this is the untold story, a tale of pain, perseverance, and ultimate triumph. She transformed from a 92-pound teenager under immense pressure to a Golden Globe-winning actress, and now a figure of resilience and integrity, Susan Dey is no longer simply a TV star. She is a symbol of endurance, hope, and quiet courage. If her story moved you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to celebrate her journey and inspire others. Thanks for watching.